Oh my god.
So well done.
Yeah.
I want to play that so bad now.
Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
What would you do if you walked into a gas station and your dad was also in the gas station across the room and you made eye contact?
Run.
I pretend to be someone else.
Who would you
Oi,
pretend to be?
gringo, are you staring?
I'd pretend. I'd probably, knowing me, I'd probably do like the first thing that comes to my mind. So I like mix two voices in one. I'd try to be Jim Varney, and then whatever other character comes to my mind after that.
4 Kids Usopp.
There you go. I'd be like, oh, thank you, sir. I'm getting out of
Hey,
here.
Vern.
Hey, Vern, I'm getting out of here. I'd try to make it in my car without him seeing my car.
You'd confront each other and then you'd make eye contact and he'd begin to approach you, so you'd have to get defensive and you'd be like, who are you staring at me? And then he'd be like, who are you staring at me? And then you get in the yelling fight. You have to get your way out of it.
I'd have to become progressively more and more Usopp in order to get my pitch high enough to outdo him.
Alright, we'll role play this real quick. Steven, you're you. I'm your dad. Elias, you're
The special
you're
K lady.
you're the clerk. In case this needs to get broken up.
Okay.
You just do your job right now.
Okay, let me mock lighting a cigarette.
You can't light a cigarette on the job.
I'm a bad employee.
Hey.
Oh, cigarette time.
Steven, is that you?
Vern.
Why'd you say that? I can see you. This isn't a
Who
big
are you?
store.
Who are you, Vern?
You're supposed to be somewhere right now.
You are, Vern.
Where is it you're supposed
Vern,
to
who are
be?
you?
Huh?
I'm going home.
What do you mean you're going home?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
can take who's next in line.
Stop interrupting me.
I'm checking out.
What do you mean? What?
Good.
Alright, what do you got?
Hey! I'm busy.
Sorry,
I'll just have one big gulp to go.
what size is big? We're not the other one.
The big
We're not
one.
finished talking here.
Bye bye.
Where you get back here?
Oh no, my car will not start.
Open this door!
Oh no.
Hey, you left your wallet at the counter.
What?
Yeah, I'll bring it over. Hey, here you go.
That's my wallet.
Yeah,
Well, look who's the lucky one now.
big
Let
guy.
me just inspect this ID here.
You didn't pay for those, sir. You walked outside holding some groceries or some items.
Quiet.
Alright, I'll wait here with you.
Why? You're just standing there.
You're holding the things you didn't pay for yet. I can take them back inside if you don't want them.
Oh.
He's got just enough to cover my tab.
Alright, I guess that'll work here.
I'm calling the police.
With what? I have your phone.
I'm double calling the police.
When you weren't looking, I snuck it out of your greasy little pockets.
That's my grease. What? You have so many theft charges on your head, sir.
Usopp's overalls thick with grease. Oh wait, no, it's just you pretending to be Usopp. That's right.
You got lost in the plot.
Yeah.
We tell a good story, George. He gone enveloped.
I believe you. I believe that you were Usopp.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crossing the Line, a fanfiction podcast where we read, review, and critique fanfiction for your listening pleasure.
Woo!
Now you guys say something.
Hi, I'm Virtual Vlogs on Twitter and YouTube.
I am Blue Breed and I like chewy spree.
I'm G-Pool. That's my name. I came up with it. Someone else came up with it for me. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And we also have 2 friends here listening in. They won't be speaking.
They won't
probably.
say a word.
They might make noise. If we make
Like
noise
that.
at the same time as we're talking, and you're wondering what that was, it was that.
It's just one of us snarfing a cola.
It's true.
Speaking of Usopp, I've got a cool Grand Battle 3 game that's Japanese only. That's gonna be the Grand Battle game that doesn't have the 4 kids' voices, and I'm so excited.
Damn. I demand to be modded so that Sanji has his 4 kids' voices.
I demand we hire 4 kids to redub it for us.
And I got Usopp socks.
Got God Usopp socks.
Here's a picture of the Usopp socks.
They're funny, trust me. It's worth opening your phone to look at what you're watching.
Indeed.
It's worth not using SoundCloud to see.
Shout out to Blue Breed's fan I met who sold me the game, who I was like, yeah, I'm buying this game for a friend who is my roommate who draws porn. And he was like, oh really, what's his name? And I showed him, he's like, oh, I love that guy, I follow him. And I was like, of course you do. Keep in mind I was in California and we live in Florida.
Hell yeah.
It's a worldwide fan base.
Outreach. You know, it's funny. When I was trying to figure out when most of the people on my Twitter go online, because I was trying to figure out the best time to post to reach enough people.
Mm-hmm.
And the tool I used did a survey of the last 1,000 users that followed me, and most of them are in like
The West Coast?
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yeah, of all places.
Netherlands love old cartoon porn.
Because they're just now getting it.
Yeah.
They're just not getting Angry Beavers.
We're just not getting it, if you know what I mean. Netherlands have statues dedicated to the angry beavers, in quotes, on the
Speaking
statue.
of Angry Beavers, welcome to the Steven Universe episode.
Yeah!
I love Steven Universe.
You'd think there'd be more of these, I would like to say. There's only like 200 something, right?
Yeah, something
I
like
thought
that.
there was like 2,000.
Yeah, I
as
think
far as
2000.
crossovers go.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But, what's here is certainly worth watching or reading, so it's okay.
Anyone have any personal stories about the time Pearl from Steven Universe touched their genitals?
I did.
Tell it.
It was cool.
Okay.
There was this one time.
This one time.
There was this one time we went to Hallmat.
You went into the chalk zone.
There you go. I drew my own version of Pearl, erased her, and then I used the magic chalk to go into the chalkboard.
You couldn't finish that sentence.
I inhaled.
Stop eating spree!
Okay, it's down. There was one time we went to this convention called Hallmat, and George was there with me, but then he left the same day because he had to go to Universal with our friend Camille.
It's called a Holiday Matsuri. We should get a panel there, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. That
I'm sure
would
it wouldn't be
we can.
impossible.
Yeah, the panel room. I don't know, panel rooms are pretty sparse.
No, I said I'm sure it wouldn't be impossible. I mean, I've been to some panels that have seemed like ridiculously low budget and like, why are you holding this panel? So I doubt it'd be impossible.
I don't want to derail from your story, but I just real quick wanted to give a shout out to the Trump Hentai 420 panel we went to in the first year.
Trump 2016.
Yeah, like, come on.
It was a there was supposed to be a Sailor Moon sleepover panel where it's just Sailor Moon cosplayers in pajamas, but a lot of them got sick, so they couldn't do it. So 2 guys just walked up on the stage and said, hey, welcome to the Trump Hentai 420 panel in 2016 for president. And then they just looked up hentai on their phone and just put it there.
On the table.
Yeah.
Sat next to the microphone and shit.
It's like this huge table and they just have their one phone sitting there by the microphone. They put on G-Spot Express.
Yo.
Wow.
A thrilling
Express.
story about a train.
Can't wait for the 2018 revival.
It's like Bacano. It's like Bacano, but it's equally hard to follow and also porn.
Okay, sorry for derailing your secret story. Ow, my knee.
You got derailed yourself. Anyhow, George had left and whatnot. I was on my own. Now, I'm not too familiar with Orlando's whereabouts because I don't live there and all that mess, so I get there, and I wasn't too observant with how the parking situation was laid out because it was in the garage, and of course it's like Sunday, it's the last day of the con, so everyone's swarming it, and it's a big maze and all that crap. But nonetheless, I finally managed to get parked, and there's this like one stray Pearl cosplayer, and she's like,
Bad Pearl.
she's like a really good Pearl.
Wasn't she like Jacket Pearl or something?
Nah, she was like regular Pearl with like a spear and whatnot. She was like really well done, but nonetheless,
How long was her nose?
it was actually adequate.
I was
Yeah,
just
she had
thinking
a,
that.
It was about, I want to say, yay.
Okay.
About yay. It was like reasonable
It's not too
size.
disruptive. It's about as long as mine. It's a joke. He's making motions for like 5 inches.
Everyone
Yeah.
drop photos of Elias with a big nose.
Everyone
I don't
crop.
think I have any photos.
Go
of my
back to the
Twitter.
last episode and check out the drawing he did of himself as reference.
But
Oh yeah, it's still on the floor.
You have to keep that for when we get more guests and you can draw them.
Yeah,
But
the drop halo.
we had some navigational issues. For some reason, her contacts were like blinding her or whatever. I don't know why she kept them in, if that was the case, but
Cool.
They're crystal.
Yeah.
It was canon.
true. But nonetheless, she needed directions to where the convention was, and we were in the garage building, and the garage leads like right into the building. There's a bridge that connects the convention center to the garage. So I was like, okay, but here's the thing though. The one we were in was the one we need to go up a few floors in order to find the bridge. I thought it was in a different garage. So I ended up leading her a block away to this other garage. This poor woman who's like blinded, her fucking makeup getting sweaty, was holding her
Oh.
damn prop. And she's like losing patience with me slowly. I'm like, oh man, we're almost there. And she's like, okay, cool, whatever. And we get there and we get to the 3rd floor. And there's no bridge to the fucking convention center. I'm like, oh, we're in the wrong building. I'm sorry, it was not the one we were at. She's like, oh, great, cool. So then we go back and we get in line in the elevator, and there's like this giant fucking clump of Naruto cosplayers. And I don't mean just Naruto characters, I mean the character Naruto. They're like supposed to be a shadow clone group.
Oh, okay.
So,
Neat.
so yeah, there's just clumps of fucking Narutos going into the elevator and disappearing and shit.
What do you think's more expensive? One good Kakashi cosplay or a bunch of bad Naruto cosplays?
More expensive.
Yeah.
Damn. I guess it depends on how cheap the Naruto ones are, really.
Really cheap.
Oh fuck! So like paper plate, leaf headbands.
Sure.
I'd say the Kakashi one in that case, man.
Just checking.
Yeah. So we get in the elevator and whatnot, and we finally find the bridge, and we're on our way into the convention center. Finally, she immediately breaks off from me and finds this other person. They're not related or anything. They just start talking in the elevator, and they left with each other. And like, as they're
How'd
walking
you
away,
have sex then?
huh? Oh, he did. But nonetheless, they're walking away and all that mess. And as they're walking away, I can hear her mentioning me, and she's like, "Oh man, I got lost with this scraggly face, dude." And I felt bad. I felt bad because like at the time I had let my fucking facial hair grow out really bad. So I was like, "Oh, it's time to shave." Well, fuck. My
Your face is crystal.
my pride. Ow.
You got shattered just like a gem.
I got corrupted.
You got horny.
Yeah.
Elias, tell us another sensual Steven Universe story.
I don't even like. I think I watched it like all alone in my room. So, what do you think?
You didn't have hot con sex?
I'm trying to think like how I watched that primarily. No, I've never seen a cosplayer from Steven Universe at a con. I don't think. Somehow. Probably because I haven't gone to any cons in like the last 3 years.
That's true.
And Ancient City Con's like next weekend
Oh, yeah, we should go.
at the World Golf Village.
Perhaps.
Redacted at the redacted. Redacted. Redacted.
The World Golf Village.
Redacted!
Hear me. That's
Redacted!
Redacted.
You can't say locations. We're too big.
Let's go. Oh, you're right. Shit.
Yeah, they're gonna have to redact all of your street names that you
I-
mentioned earlier.
Fuck. We have to replace Circle K with Square O.
Square circle.
Yeah, Circle
Step into
K
the
is all
squared
over the
circle.
world. You can mention Circle K. There's
No.
Circle K.
They're a
all over
chain.
the world.
It's okay.
Squared
Say
I
it.
don't want to get sued.
It's the squared circle and the Ultimate Warrior runs the place.
Our views do not represent that of Circle K.
Our views represent the squared circle.
This is true. One hundo. George, what's your experience with Steven Universe?
I remember I saw trailers for it when it first came out on TV, but I didn't care because the only joke they played on the commercial was cheeseburger backpack. Just over and over and over again. Cheeseburger backpack, and I said, alright, enough. But then I caught the jailbreak episode on TV and I said, hey, that's pretty good. So then I went out of my way to watch it, and now I like it a lot. And I think it's a really good show, but Cartoon Network's a bad company that doesn't know how to air things.
Here's a good question. What was the episode that made you decide it was worth watching?
Jailbreak.
Okay, you got Jailbreak. For me, it was the first major Lars episode, Lars and the Cool Kids, because they have that moment where Lars calls Steven's mom weird, and you think it's gonna go the way it would usually go. Steven feels bad, then Lars feels bad and apologizes, but instead Steven actually sticks up for himself and fucking bites him in the ass for it, and I'm like, okay, this is actually good. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch more of this. This is decent.
I
What
like
about
the
you?
I like the episodes where they go to different places because they spend a lot of time in the main city, but when they go to other places, they spend a lot of time drawing and fleshing out the areas they go to. So those are always really fun to watch.
They put in a lot of work in backgrounds and stuff too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's really interesting when they go to someplace new, like when they go to the what's the name of the gem with the rainbow? Bismuth.
Bismuth, yeah.
That episode was really visually nice.
That episode as a whole was really well done.
Yeah, stuff like that's really good. I don't know, there were certain times I watched it mostly in one sitting, but I was spacing out and doing other computer work, but I would catch a whole episode coherently and really enjoyed the odd one that had a lot of background artwork. So I guess I just appreciate the art direction in the show a lot
True.
in general.
I guess we should say sorry about any spoilers that the stories may or may not come up with, but
Spoilers, go.
most people that care about Steven Universe are more than caught up.
True.
I don't think anything's really gonna be I guess maybe talking about Peridot, but
Stuff that's later into season 2 and whatnot.
I don't know. It's such a show where people will get mad if you so much as mention a character they haven't seen yet.
Pretty much. Hey guys,
It's me.
spoiler. The
Pappas.
diamonds.
I'm 5 episodes behind still, so it's fine.
We gotta catch up.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're very close to being caught up.
Most of our fan fiction was probably not written afterwards or contains spoilers in any capacity. But I guess we'll find out if that's actually going to be true.
Yeah. Who wants to dig in deep first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Ooh,
Alright.
ballsy. You must have a humdinger.
I mean, I hope. The description, the title was funny. Alright. Sesame Street, ...
Oh.
What was once a vibrant and happy place, ... Lowercase I is now under the boot of communism. All thanks to their new leader, Jim Jong Elmo.
Jim Jong Elmo?
Kim Jong. Elmo.
The Red Menace.
Because, as you more than likely already know, in parentheses, unless you never paid attention in history class, Kim Jong II was actually a spiritual being that was made of pure communism. So when he died, he needed a new host. Unfortunately for us, the host he chose was one of our greatest American heroes, Elmo. When the spirit of Kim Jong II took over Elmo, Elmo began to enforce new rules for Sesame Street.
Force.
He created focused time camps, segregated humans and puppets, turned the Swedish chef's kitchen into a nuke kitchen, and turned the Cookie Monster into the Veggie Monster.
It's not
and
even
so
the
much
Swedish
more.
chef. He doesn't live on Sesame Street.
God. At first, the citizens of Sesame Street thought Elmo was just joking around.
At what point did he seem like he was joking around? When he enforced segregation?
However, when they started to notice that all the humans have gone missing, and that anyone who asked Elmo about the humans' whereabouts were immediately captured by Elmo's Secret Service agents, they knew this was not a prank, bro. After Elmo had complete power over Sesame Street, it was time for Phase 2 of Elmo's plan. Elmo announced that he would be giving a televised speech and that he would love for all the world to watch. The world was unaware that Elmo had become a communist bastard, so people were happy to see that what Elmo had to say, including a certain longtime fan. Meanwhile, Dick Cheney was enjoying his favorite new hobby,
Dick Cheney?
looking at Steven Universe Rule 34 fan art.
There it is. That's the crossover.
Hell
Even
yeah.
you're in the story.
Oh, fuck yeah. More specifically, the lapis lazuli section of it. When Dick Cheney first laid eyes on her in the episode...
Laid eyes.
She didn't even have eyes yet.
It's true. When Dick Cheney first laid eyes on her in the episode where she tried to murder 2 children, Dick knew he was in love with her. However, as he was looking through all the amazing porn, he got an email from his acquaintance, Harry Whittington. Dick opened up the email and the email read, "Hey Dick, did you hear that Elmo will be giving a live speech on television today?"
Wait, hold on. So Elmo is real in this world, and Sesame Street is real, but Steven Universe is still but like a cartoon.
I guess.
Sesame Street's real life.
True, it's true. Dick Cheney was happy and surprised. Elmo had always been a great American role model, and Dick was excited to see Elmo speak again, mainly because Elmo has such a way with words. Dick Cheney quickly turned on his small TV that he keeps on his desk and changes the channel to Sesame Street. There he saw Elmo, however something seemed off, but Dick just ignored it since Elmo looked like he was about ready to give his speech. Elmo got the okay from the ESSA, Elmo's Secret Service agents, and began to speak. Oh god, do I do the voice? That's a good question.
That's what I was thinking.
Alright. People of the world!
Good try,
That was
Steven.
good.
People of... I can't fucking do the god shit.
Everybody do an Elmo.
I would everyone do the Elmo.
I can't either.
I
My-
can't either.
If my story contains it, I will.
People of the world, but specifically the United States of America.
Project.
People of the world, but specifically the United States of America.
Woo!
Elmo has a message for you. Dick Cheney started to get worried. Elmo's tone was so bitter and heartless. Okay, I nailed it anyway. Let's see here. Elmo wants all of you to know that Sesame Street is no longer a friendly, neutral street.
The cold country, this one street. We are no longer a neutral street.
But we are now a communist
I
street.
want an electoral vote.
You can't declare being a communist street.
But we are now a communist street. A tear began to form in Dick Cheney's eye.
No.
And for those of you who deny Elmo's power, Elmo then pushes a red button that was on the podium, At first it seemed like it did nothing, but then the camera pans over to Swedish nuke kitchen. The building opens up, and a missile shoots out of it at lightning speed.
I thought it was gonna like emerge. It just shoots out.
Yeah.
Just immediately nukes.
The camera then pans back to Elmo, who's telling two of his ESSA members to grab something. About a minute later, the two ESSA members return with a large flat screen TV and place it next to Elmo for all
I
to
thought
see.
they were just stealing a TV.
Don't steal a TV.
I'll steal a TV, man.
Everyone gets the same treatment. Elmo gets a TV if you have one.
One of the ESSA members turned on the TV, revealing the Muppets. It appeared to be a live show with no sound. Miss Piggy and Kermit appeared to be talking to each other, but suddenly they stopped. They began to look around in confusion, and just as Kermit looked up in horror, there was a large explosion. The connection died a second later. The Muppets were dead, and Elmo just stood there and smiled. Dick Cheney couldn't take anymore. He quickly turned off the TV and began to cry.
Oh no.
Dick was hoping this was just a bad dream, but he knew it was all too real. Dick Cheney cried for about a minute. He didn't know how to deal with this. "Why, Elmo? Why have you forsaken us?" cried Dick Cheney at the top of his lungs.
I'm gonna look up the Lapis Lazuli R34 to see, so I can be one with Dick Cheney.
Gosh. He had to do something, but what? Dick Cheney was about to send an email to George W. Bush Jr., but realized he forgot to close his lapis lazuli porn. Dick decided that one last look would not hurt. And began to look at a picture of a completely nude lapis. However, as he stared at her blue naked body, he got an idea. "I know what I must do," Dick Cheney said to himself as he went to Amazon. After about a minute of searching, he found what he was looking for. A lapis lazuli gem. To be continued. Chapter 2.
Thank God.
Chapter 2.
An actual continue, so rare.
Thank God. Oh no, I just noticed the avatar for this fucking story. Alright, Chapter 2. The Heroes. Dick Cheney was waiting for the lapis lazuli gem to arrive in his mailbox. He knew that the gem was the only thing that stood between Elmo and world domination. However, as he was waiting, his old friend George W. Bush Jr. came by for a visit. "Howdy there, Cheney. What are you up to?"
You don't get it. I gotta stop Elmo. I got this gem. He's gonna make his street communist.
There's one of Lapis getting her foot licked
Oof,
by Peridot.
that's a good one.
He's just like, his specific street? Why is that affecting you, John?
I don't like that street anyhow, John.
There's one with Lapis about to get pegged by Peridot.
Fuck yeah. George asked, wondering why Dick was standing by his mailbox.
I'm gonna stop looking at the R tag now.
"I'm waiting for something that will help me save America."
Oh, it's coming.
This
Any second now.
surprised George, but he decided to go along with it and wait by the mailbox with Dick.
They're both just outside in full suits waiting. Like kids for a package.
Like there should be Secret Service there, but there aren't any.
Right.
There's old men standing in their like 3-piece suits.
The neighbors come by like, "Hey guys, you okay?" Like, "Yep, we're waiting on a package."
Morning, Bill. Want to come wait with us?
George had nothing better to do with his day anyway. After about 30 minutes of awkwardly waiting around the mailbox, the mail truck finally arrived. "It's here." "Yes!" Dick is so happy that he begins to jump up and down while George just wonders why Dick is happy.
I have to look up what Dick Cheney looks like. Hold on.
He looks pretty funny.
He's funny.
He looks kind of like a more youthful Bernie Sanders.
Dick Cheney. It said gay. That said gay for a frame, but then it corrected to Dick Cheney.
The gay to have another
Oh God.
vulture incident.
I'll tell that story after you finish this story.
Yeah,
He does look funny.
he's great.
Just jumping around.
Oh, yes. The truck comes to a stop, and the driver walks out holding Dick's package. However, However, as the driver walked out of the truck, George noticed something. Wait a minute.
It was Fozzie.
You're a Russian?
Worse.
George W. Bush Jr. squints at the postman and says, "Wait a minute, before you hand him that package, you're a Russian."
George then proceeded to pull out his M16 rifle
Oh no!
and began to open fire on the communist. As expected, the communist stood no chance against the mighty American bullets.
As expected.
However, Dick Cheney was freaking out over this. George, stop, you might hit my package. George stopped firing, and Dick grabbed a surprisingly undamaged package. Alright, Dick, now will you tell me what's so important about this? Dick, however, did not answer, and instead motioned for him to come into his house. Upon entering the house,
They just shot the postman and then leave?
they have diplomatic immunity. They can get away with it.
One of them might.
He was Russian!
Alright. That'll hold up in court, I'm sure.
In America's court.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Upon entering the house, Dick immediately set his package on his desk. Alright, George, before I open my package, I have to show you something.
Oh no.
This story is cool.
Dick then walked over to his laptop and accidentally opened up his lapis lazuli porn. What the hell is wrong with you? Everyone knows that Pearl's the hottest one, George said. George is my man. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Dick Cheney? Everyone knows Pearl's the best, Jim.
You
Put all
don't
his
appreciate the
rifle.
pancake ass, you fool. George says Dick was trying to close the page. No, that's not it. This is what I wanted to show you. Dick then pulls up YouTube and shows George the video of Elmo giving a speech. Needless to say, George was shocked. I knew
We didn't
this.
know about that. Elmo nuked something.
He built a restaurant dedicated to nuking.
His kitchen.
I knew this day would come. That red bastard could never be trusted, George said, with true anger in his voice.
Of course he knew.
I know how you feel, George, but fear not. I have something here that will help us. Dick then opened up his package, revealing a lapis lazuli gem. George just stood there in confusion. But that's not all. But that's not all. Check this out. Dick then walked over to his bookshelf and pulled on one of his books. The bookshelf then slid open, revealing a secret laboratory.
Ooh.
As Dick and George walked into the lab, George couldn't help but wonder why Dick had this lab. Dick, how and when did you get this lab? Dick just looked back at George in confusion. You don't remember? I got this when you and me raided the moon after Russia took it over.
Guns blazing, I'm sure.
Raided the moon.
After Dick said that, it all came back to George. Oh, I remember now. I was drunk when we did that, said George proudly. After a little walking around, Dick finally stopped at a large machine and a tube with "Put Rock In" written above it. The tube was connected to a large chamber with a door that had "Person comes out, I think" written above it.
Oh dear.
Oh my god. Oh, I remember now. Those Russians were planning to take rock samples from the moon and make soldiers out of them with this machine.
They blaming the Steven Universe canon on Russians?
I guess so. George said. Let's see here. Fortunately for us, they were so stupid that they wrote their own instructions on how to use the machine in English. That is a big flaw.
I guess. Seems like a minor inconvenience.
George and Dick share a laugh, and then Dick walks up to the tube. Alright, let's do this, Dick said as he places the lapis lazuli gem in the tube. The gem goes down the tube and eventually falls into the chamber. At first it seemed like nothing happened, but then red mist started to fill the chamber. The gem then started to float up and change into a female human-looking figure. The figure then grew a dress and some hair. The figure finally fell to the ground and Dick was happy with what he saw.
Oh my god.
Her, Dick said.
I like how he
happily.
just bought her on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like a gem.
That's
For
like-
his specific stolen Russian monster machine.
Even if it wasn't like an alien gem, that's still a precious ass fucking gem to just buy off of Amazon.
He was just looking at porn of her and now she's real.
He's
Rule
happy.
34 porn of his fictional character that's not real.
God. After the red mist cleared, Dick opened up the door. Dick then walked up to Lapis and helped her up. Who are you? Asked Lapis, who was shaken up. I'm Dick Cheney. Welcome to America.
What an introduction to life.
Welcome to America.
I'm Dick Cheney. Welcome to America. Dick said happily. Dick then helped her out of the chamber and brought her towards George. I can't believe this actually worked, Dick, said George happily. Alright, George, let's head back to my office. They then walked back to Dick's office with the newfound hope. Here, sit down at my desk, Lapis, Dick said as he helped Lapis to his
Why?
desk chair.
So we can show her the folder.
Show her the YouTube video.
Show her the R page. Dick then walked up to Lapis and helped. Wait, no. Dick said as he helped Lapis to his desk chair. Alright, Lapis, we need you for something. Are you willing to help us? Dick asked. Well, you two did give me life, so I guess so, Lapis happily said.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Alright then, let me show you what we were dealing with, Dick said as he opened up his laptop. But once again, accidentally opened up his Lapis Lazuli porn.
Oh no!
Damn it, Dick, this is why you shouldn't bookmark porn, George said as Lapis just stared at the porn with a blank expression. Alright now, this is what I wanted to show you, said Dick as he started to play Elmo's speech.
That's all that led to.
Showing her another YouTube video. Just Dick showing everyone he loves this YouTube video.
And his porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, on accident. Lapis probably doesn't know what she looks like yet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. He's gonna realize later.
Oh, Lapis. Oh no. Lapis watched the video with interest. However, about halfway through the video, a puppet busted through Dick's window.
Oh no!
The puppet then ran towards
raid.
Dick and held him at gunpoint.
Ah!
Alright, you assholes. Elmo knows that you were plotting to stop him, so prepare to die. However, before he could shoot Dick,
How does
Lapis
Elmo
summoned-
know? Because Dick Cheney bought a gem on Amazon?
Elmo knows everything about the kindergarten.
I guess he did shoot that Russian.
There we go.
That could have connected some dots.
Fair enough, fair enough. However, before he could shoot Dick, Lapis summoned some water from a flower vase in Dick's office and threw it towards the communist puppet. What are you doing? This was all the puppet could say before the water formed a bubble around the puppet's head and began to drown. After about 30 seconds, the puppet was dead.
Whoa.
Thanks, Lapis. You saved my life, Dick said as he was catching his breath.
This fanfic rules.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
really well written and dumb. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it was no problem. So, when can we kill Elmo? Lapis asked with a smile. Oh, so you enjoy killing communists. You already seem to have the American spirit, George said happily. Oh god. Now, let's not waste any more time. Let's get some guns and go kill Elmo. And with that, they all walked out of Dick's office. To be continued. Chapter 3.
Oh, thank God.
Final chapter. Sand.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
Oh, dude.
Sand.
I shit you not, it's 3.sand. It's finally time. After a long wait, it's time for Dick, George, and Lapis to finally put an end to Elmo.
How did George get roped into this? He was just in for a visit.
He just
That's part of Dick Cheney's scheme.
waited next to the mailbox with him.
Sure, I'll wait with you, Dick. What's going on? And then the mailman walks up and he pulls out a rifle and blows him apart.
I still can't get over them just standing there at the mailbox for half an hour.
That is really funny.
And then he just shoots the mailman.
After waiting for potentially 5 days.
Wait a minute, you're a Russian. Good old George, the infinite judge of character.
Blankly stares into space for 5 days straight and then says, wait a minute, and then kills the mailman he waited for.
He knows.
And bring the American spirit back to Sesame Street. They have gotten their guns and are ready to kill some communists. But first, it's time for a beach episode. Dick, George, and Lapis arrived at Freedom Beach and were ready to have some fun, have a fun time.
Is that why it's called sand? This better not be the end of the thing.
This is the last chapter, it better fucking not.
These two, like, real old men and then this, like, blue cartoon character in some sort of One Piece bathing suit.
Amnesic.
Oh my god.
Amnesiac.
Alright, let's change into our beach outfits and have some fun, George said
God.
in an excited tone as he began to change into his Disney swim trunks.
I'm glad they're just like out of the 3-piece suits in my mind now.
God. Dick Cheney also began to change. However, he did not change into swim trunks. He instead changed into a G-string.
Oh no.
Ah!
Good.
Lapis, however, seemed a little nervous. Dick took notice of this. Hey, Lapis, something wrong? Dick says he finished putting on his G-string.
He snaps it real tight and puts his arm around her shoulder.
All of a sudden, their fucking dialogue is in italices, so it's making this seem a lot more, like, romanticized, and it's making me nervous as to how this is gonna pan out.
It is a fanfic.
Yeah.
He did look at their porn.
He is wearing a G-string. Nothing's wrong, it's just the first time I've ever been to a beach. Oh, don't be scared. The beach is a fun place. Right, George? That's right. Now, let's get some ice cream.
George is such a pure symbol of character.
Yeah.
I love him.
I will say, out of all our presents, he's been the funnest to parody.
That's so true.
My goodness. Let's see here.
Obama gave him a run for his money, but you can't beat Southern hospitality.
I agree. George then happily ran to the ice cream booth. Dick wanted to go along, but he wanted to wait for Lapis to finish changing. However, Lapis didn't want him to wait too long for her.
Just staring at her.
I'm waiting.
His G-string getting shorter.
Adjusting his G-string. God. It's okay, Dick. You can go. I'll catch up when I finish changing. Oh, okay. If you say so. Dick then ran to the booth, leaving Lapis by herself.
Ran. Dick runs at full speed to the booth.
Just imagining him at all, like, with any sort of pep in his step to go get ice cream.
Yeah. It's really funny.
Grown man.
His full Captain Falcon dash.
Imagine Captain Falcon's like dash starting animation from Smash 4.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney.
The stupid, like, gusts of wind
Yeah.
heading past him.
In the sand.
Oh my god. When Dick got to the booth, he was happy to see that George had already gotten him his favorite ice cream.
Oh.
What flavor?
Thanks, George, Dick says he took the ice cream. Yeah, no problem. Hey, where's Lapis? She's still getting changed. She will be here momentarily. Dick and George waited there for a few moments while eating their ice creams. As they began to finish their ice creams, I'm really triggered by the ice creams. Lapis finally came out. As Lapis walked out, both George and Dick were left speechless at how hot Lapis looked in her orange bikini. Oh, orange and blue. That's actually a really good color combo.
You gonna draw this later, Steven?
Yeah, why not?
I think it sounds bad. I imagine her in like an ugly bikini that Dick got for her.
For the shade of... You would have to stylize her shade of blue. Like, if they stuck to the canon and made it exactly like the show,
You
yeah,
have
it
to
would
do
be kind
canon.
of gross. I'm not doing canon. No,
You're
no.
grounded.
Rule
has to
30,
be-
Rule 34 by nature is against canon, okay? To be fair.
It has to be an outfit that Dick picked out himself.
You have to call Dick Cheney on the phone and say, hey, what color orange would Lapis wear? What shade of orange?
Give me the XY number.
What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? It's not saying in this fan fiction for some reason. I'm really mad.
Creamsicle, obviously.
Hell yeah.
That's a good guess.
Let's
Probably
see.
mint chocolate chip.
Bomb pops.
Mint chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
The Flintstones push up.
Yeah, hell
Orange
yeah.
push pop.
I would love that. Let's see here. As Lapis, let's see here. Oh yeah. Hey guys, sorry it took so long. George and Dick still stood there not saying a word. Hey guys, are you okay? Dick and George still said nothing. Guys, can one of you help me with my bikini? It's still a little loose in the back. As soon as she said that, Dick and George's noses began to bleed, and both of them fell to the ground. George, guys, are you okay? Dick and George finally got hold of themselves and stood up.
It's like slapstick duo.
I love beach episodes.
This fucking anime. Oh my god. Guys, are you okay? Dick and George finally got hold of themselves and stood up. Oh, yeah. I think we ate that ice cream too fast, Dick said, trying to find an excuse. Oh, okay. As long as you're okay. All three of them stood around for a moment until George broke the silence. Hey, let's show you some of the fun things we can do on the beach.
Nobody helped her.
They decided they're above it.
They skated past it. They forgot they had a concussion when they hit the ground.
Dick broke the silence over his knee.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Dick said in agreement. The three then began to run to the water. However, when they got on the sand, Lapis seemed completely amazed by the sand. She stopped and then began to lay in the sand. Dick and George took notice of this. Hey, Lapis, why are you? George stopped talking when he saw that Lapis was rubbing the sand all over her body. George didn't know what to say.
I don't either.
Oh man.
Why would you do that?
Oh man. George then ran into the water with Dick following him.
Ran. George running full speed to the water.
Hey George, is everything okay? Oh man, oh boner man.
She's rubbing sand on herself.
Like a psycho.
She's just fucking slowly giving herself
She's like
friction
stepped on the
burns.
beach and went like, She picks up sand and just.
Just super itchy.
Oh, here's. Let's see. The two then went silent, stood in the water for a good 5 minutes while watching Lapis play in the sand.
Elmo has nukes.
It's a beach episode. It's not relevant to the plot.
It's filler.
It's
There's
filler.
only been 2 chapters. Filler's already needed. Filler episode.
It's promo material.
They broke the 3-episode fucking format that anime goes for. It's 3 here. Oh crap, I lost my place. Let's see, boner, but there it is. Okay.
Boner, found it.
You know, maybe we should do something so we don't look like 2 old men just standing in the water, staring at a blue girl as she plays in the sand, Dick said. Yeah, good idea. How about we have a splash fight? George then splashed some water in Dick's face.
His old face knocking his glasses into the ocean.
My glasses.
Oh,
I can't see the babes.
I can't see the sand.
It's everywhere, but I can't see it.
It's coarse and irritating.
Oh, so that's how you want to play. Well, take this. Dick then splashes some water in George's face.
Splashing each other with well knowing they each have hard-ons.
Well knowing that the world is in jeopardy as they fucking pritter away. This of course results in an all-out splash fight. The splash fight is so fun that George forgot about Lapis and his boner was gone. However, what they didn't know is that trouble has arrived. Finally.
Uh-oh.
While George and Dick played in the water, Lapis continued to play in the sand. While she was playing in the sand, two men walked up to Lapis and began to kick sand in her face.
Oh no! That's so mean.
She likes it. She likes
She's
sand.
just learning about sand and then someone kicks it in her eyes.
Yeah, she probably learned the hard way quick.
Poor woman. Something got in her mouth and she immediately tried to spit it out, but the two men kept kicking more sand.
Oh no! You're so mean.
I don't like it.
Fortunately, Dick took notice of this and immediately recognized the two men. Hey, George, stop. These two beach bullies are being mean to Lapis. George looked at the two with disgust.
Say it.
Damn it, Obama and Osama
The dynamite duo.
the two O's.
Come in and start kicking sand. I don't like those political undertones.
Why have the past two I've gone been so political?
It's like, this little blue girl here, she likes playing in the sand. I like sand. Look what I can do with the sand.
I'm putting it in her mouth.
Just keeps kicking.
And Osama goes, "Oh, that's very funny! Check this out!" And he starts kicking sand. And poor Lapis is becoming a pile of sand.
Oh no. Obama and Osama are at it again. We gotta help her. George and Dick then ran out of the water, immediately pushed the two bullies away from Lapis. However, Obama decided that he was not finished. You better get out of our, side of the beach, or we will, beat the crap out of you. Dick and Bush were not intimidated by this.
Was it actually written like that? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were improving.
No, you better get out of our,
This is
side of the beach.
Our side of the beach, so, better leave it.
Leave.
As I stand before
Our
you.
side of the ocean. Side of the beach.
I mean, it could be Obama's, but I don't think it's Osama's.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Dick and Bush were not intimidated by this. You don't scare us, you communist! Quick, Bush! Attack now! Dick and George.
Bush better not have brought a gun to the beach.
That's why he's not wearing a G-string.
Got his full like suit top on, but he's wearing his suit down.
His Disney trunks.
His
remember?
Disney trunks with a full suit top.
He's been like carrying a Glock in the back of his pants this whole time.
Back of his sandy trunks.
It's wet.
Gross. His trusty potato gun in his floaties. Let's see. Dick and George then charged at Obama and Osama. Dick and George were, of course, able to easily beat the crap out of the two bullies. The boys then ran away and hid in the beach's bathroom. Oh no, Obama! They beat the crap out of us! How can we possibly beat them? Osama said with true fear in his voice. Don't, worry, Osama. Now plan to stop them. Outside of the bathroom, Dick and George are helping Lapis up. Dick, of course, was the most concerned. Lapis, are you okay? Dick said, nearly on the verge of tears. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just a little sand. Lapis stood up.
She's the adult here.
These two bastards just kicked sand at her, and these fucking man children.
They're grown men also in three-piece suits that walked up and saw a girl playing in the sand and thought it was a good idea.
They just chased them into the bathroom. Let's see. Lapis stood up and brushed the sand off of herself, then stared at the water. Hey guys, how about we just go swimming? Dick and George thought this was a good idea and started to head towards the water. However, as they were walking, the beach bathroom suddenly blew up. This caught all three of them off guard. They looked back to see what had happened, and when smoke finally cleared, they saw a man that looked like Obama, but had the beard of Osama floating in the air.
Oh no, they did the fusion dance!
You thought beat us. Well,
Hold on, I'll
Yeah,
come over
no.
and we can like do it together.
okay.
Hold on, do you want to be Obama or Osama?
I can be Obama.
Okay.
You
You thought you could, beat us? Well, we are now, Obama Bin Laden.
Oh no!
Obama Bin Laden. God,
Cut out that voice clip and post it on Twitter.
this is great. Obama Bin Laden. Then do they have the vest? Do they use the potara? I wonder.
It's just their different suits mashed together.
So Obama with a turban and a beard. Oh god. Obama Bin Laden charged a dick and knocked him to the ground.
Oh no.
He then turned to George and roundhouse kicked him, knocking George to the ground. He was then about to turn his attention to Lapis, but then noticed that there was a table made of water by him. Before he could do anything, water changes grabbed him and trapped him to the table. Lapis then walked up to him and placed a rag on his face. At the moment, Obama Bin Laden realized what was happening, but it was too late. Lapis began to dump water onto the rag, and this caused Obama Bin Laden to feel like he was being suffocated. I don't know how many of our audience understand what this is, but this is a form of torture that makes you feel like you're drowning. This is horrible. She has the power to drown them, but she's taking the long way out.
He's intentionally torture drowning them.
Oh my
They're
God.
communists.
Lapis
It's
does have a
sad.
taste for killing communists.
We don't endorse any of this. This is merely done for comedy, guys. Oh my god. It should go without saying, but I have to say it anyhow. I'm sure someone out there will take it the wrong way.
Someone will clip you into making fun of Obama and Osama.
Someone will doctor up the audio, you're
Worse than
right.
waterboarding.
Waterboarding Obama Bin Laden.
Oh my god. Lapis then began to dump water on the rag, and this caused Obama Bin Laden to feel like he was being suffocated. Obama Bin Laden begged for her to stop, but she said nothing and continued to waterboard him. Oh my god.
Stone cold communist killer.
After about 5 minutes of this, Obama Bin Laden unfused. The two were scared and ran as fast as they could from the beach while pissing themselves.
For 5 minutes out in the open on the beach, just waterboarding them.
Christ. Lapis then saw that George and Dick had recovered, but were still in some pain. Hey, you guys just want to grab some more ice cream and just lay on the beach? Lapis asked, and both Dick and George agreed that it was a good idea. They all grabbed their ice creams and lay on the beach for the rest of the day. Nothing else happened, they just relaxed, and when it started getting late, they decided to head home. And that's the end of the fan fiction.
That was a really cute ending.
I like
Yeah.
that. That was fun. I give that a full 34 out of 34 rules. That was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
I give it I liked it as much as Saint Young Men, the manga and movie about Jesus and Buddha as cute anime boys hanging out. They're just like realistic depictions of their actual gods just hanging out in Japan like kids, which is basically what this was.
I give that a picture of cartoon porn in a political debate.
Good.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. Real quick. The short Rick Scott story.
Oh shit, you're right.
Where you're all familiar with Rick Scott, right?
Mm.
Our Lord and Savior, our state
Our
governor.
Lord and Savior.
Our governor of Florida.
Our
The,
crook
the actual supervillain leader of Florida.
Literally anyone who doesn't live in Florida won't know who he is, but if you just look him up, you'll be able to 100% identify that he's actually the Vulture from the Marvel comics. So I wanted to show some friends that who weren't sure. So I used my my phone's like voice to text Google thing, and between that and between me reading it and a bunch of just like conversations in the room, it somehow went to sucking penis, and that was just on my Google history now.
Well, he's spoken to the mic. What did you say?
I just said Rick Scott Vulture, and then it just reads sucking penis.
Sucking penis.
I was so upset.
Yeah, you just scream, "Not sucking penis!"
Then if you actually look up Rick Scott Vulture, you find like Google images of people's photoshops that have already been made, which is the best part.
Yeah, like they're like actual things of his head on a cartoon vulture's body.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
stupid.
Everyone else knew already.
He's already been arrested a lot. Everyone already knows his secret identity.
It's
Just a
obvious,
rich, ornery old man. I love getting political on this show.
as we do.
Indeed.
As we tend to do against our own will.
Alright, who's up next?
I have 2 green Steven Universe fanfics. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do.
No, I got you.
Green.
Does that mean good?
Yeah, what does green mean?
They just related to green.
I got you.
The Green Lantern?
Hold on. No.
That's the crossover.
Green Hornet?
I accidentally opened the one
Green Hornet.
I've been saving this one for like months, and it's called Draco Malfoy Hates Muggles, and the only comment on it is just nice, period. And I just accidentally opened that and read the only comment, and I laughed, but it wasn't one of those.
Oh my God.
If you want, you can pick one, and
Yeah, I'll think
depending
about
on
it.
how that goes, you can either read the second one, or if we have time after I read mine, you can read it.
I'll just read the one.
Okay.
Okay, well, I can't really skirt around this crossover, so I'm just gonna get started.
Yay.
Upon a bright sunny day, Zoro was sleeping on the deck of the Thousand Sunny.
Oh
Yay.
He was in his usual spot with a giant barrel of sake, which was empty. After going to Dressrosa, he felt like he really needed a drink. He got drunk. As Zoro was sleeping, he heard a loud yell. "Lanto!" exclaimed Luffy with a wide smile. Zoro slowly opened his drunk eyes and saw that his excitable and mentally insane captain was right. There was a silhouette of an island off in the distance. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper were dancing on the deck doing their usual antics while Sanji was being a shitty cook as usual.
Hey!
That's a Zoro joke. Making a fool out of himself around Nami and Robin like he does. "Oi, shitty cook, give me more sake." Zoro shook his empty barrel. "I ran out."
He drank himself asleep, and now that he's up, he can only ask for more.
I need to go get something to drink so I can continue to talk, actually. Hold on.
Intermission!
Wait, never mind. I was handed a drink, all is well.
Give it back. Give it back, my drink.
Okay. It was enough. My phone won't open its touchscreen and I got the whole thing wet.
The podcast is ruined.
It's okay, I can type in my password slowly. Okay. "Excuse me, ladies," said Sanji. I can't remember how Sanji sounds in English.
That's pretty
Hey,
"Excuse me, ladies,"
that's better.
said Sanji with hearts in his eyes.
side dish.
Right.
Not giving that Boston drawl.
He angrily marched towards Zoro's lazy form. "Why would I do anything for a lazy, shitty mosshead like you?" "Who are you calling a mosshead, love cook?" yelled Zoro as he drew his swords. "I'm calling you a mosshead. Are you deaf or something?" Sanji yelled. On the deck, everything was perfectly normal. Nami and Robin were talking. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper were playing. Zoro and Sanji were fighting. Brook was playing his violin. And Frankie was inside inventing things as usual. Perfectly normal. As the ship was approaching the island, the environment on it seemed more clear. It was a foresty piece of land with no civilian around. "This island looks super fun!" Frankie shouted, even though he was not on the deck. As he walked on deck, never mind, and did his usual embarrassing pose with his arms above his head. Indeed does, Brooke said. "Although I don't have eyes to see. Yo ho ho ho, skull joke." Everyone glared at Brooke except Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper, who laughed. It was a perfect day to have an adventure. When the ship hit land, Luffy immediately jumped off. "Adventure!" Luffy shouted as he ran through the ruins. "Luffy, wait!" Zoro sighed as he ran after him. Luffy, wait! Zoro sighed as he ran after him. Zoro POV. Where did that idiot go? Zoro said to himself.
Was it not already?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Where did that idiot go? Zoro said to himself. This always happened. Luffy ran off to have fun and everyone went to go find him. It was even more annoying to him due to the fact that every island he went on seemed to twist and turn into some sort of endless maze. After walking for a while, he decided to take a break. Zoro saw a river and took this as an opportunity to drink some water. 10 minutes passed and he decided to take off again. Why does my shitty crew always get lost? Zoro muttered in frustration. Even though he knew that his crew was annoying and drove him crazy, he also knew that he heavily respected his crew. He would never do anything to hurt or disrespect them, except the shitty cook. The cook was an asshole. After a couple hours, he sat down to take another break by a river again. It looked like the same river that he was at an hour ago. You have got to be kidding me! Zoro got up and marched away. In his angry stupor, he didn't notice a strange rock on the ground. He tripped. What the hell? He said as he went to pick it up. It had strange markings on it and shined an eerie green light. As soon as his hand touched it, the light grew. What the hell? The rock fell and Zoro was not to be found. Okay. Pearl, POV.
Just getting into it, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Location, homeworld.
What?
Yeah. Pearl was sitting under a waterfall.
A waterfall on Homeworld?
Yeah. It was a good way to meditate and relax. I understand there isn't really water on Homeworld, but moving on.
Homeworld probably wasn't invented yet when they wrote this.
I mean, they were I guess Dressrosa's been going on since like when Steven Universe started, so I guess it's fine. Anyways, she needed to relax, of course. Ever since the rebellion broke out, she was stressed out and needed a break. Rose was safe in the ship, so Pearl took this chance to go out and explore. Ever since Rose showed her about beauty, Pearl always loved to go outside and be involved with nature. On Homeworld. As Pearl was meditating, she heard a loud crash and disrupt her peace and quiet. She opened her eyes and saw a flock of birds greeting the area. I'm guessing this is not actually Homeworld and this person is confused. It's probably just like Earth because it doesn't seem like it makes sense.
Yeah.
What in the world? I guess I should have checked what could have made such a disturbance in the vicinity, she muttered. To her it could have been an enemy, who wanted to hunt Rose. As she walked towards the area, there was a gigantic crash site about 100 meters wide with a strange figure lying in the middle. What could it be? Pearl wondered. Could it be a weapon? When she got closer, she could confirm that it wasn't a weapon. It was a human, with 3 swords, dressed in green, with green hair. Chapter 2.
Yay.
There's no title.
Uh-oh.
Just chapter 2.
Where the hell am I? Zoro slurred out as he opened his eyes. He adjusted to the light and saw that he was in a house, on a bed, with multiple scratches. You are in Rose Quartz house. You should feel grateful, said a light, but dominant tone. Zoro immediately...
Earth now.
Yeah, Zoro immediately jumped up to his feet and reached for his swords, except they weren't there. He turned to see who his apparent captor was. It was a woman with a thin body, pale skin, blue and white clothes, and a white rock on her. A long nose. Usopp?
Damn.
Now we brought a story where Pearl was
Finally,
compared to
At
Usopp.
last.
I've been waiting so long.
Great.
The ultimate joke. It says, and a white rock on her, ... A long nose, ? Usopp? Zoro spoke cautiously, not letting his guard down. When did you become a girl? I am not aware of who or what an Usopp is, but I am positive that I am not who you think I am, she explained. My name is Pearl, assistant of Rose Quartz, she said with pride. Okay, Zoro slowly worded out. And who is Rose Quartz? Never mind, just give me my swords. Her name is Rose Quartz, not Rose Court. And also, how do you not know who the great Rose Quartz is? Pearl gasped. Oi, I don't care, just give me my swords, Zoro demanded. Why would I? Pearl said with an arrogant smirk. The door opened and a large woman with curly pink hair walked in. Pearl, where is the... Pearl, is that a human? Gasped the woman. Human, Zoro thought. What did she mean by human? I think, though I don't know how he could have got here. Should we get rid of him, Rose? Pearl asked. He is being rude, and besides, what if he hurts you? He has 3 swords, for goodness sake. Pearl, I don't think it is necessary. He's just a human, and he doesn't have his weapons, explained Rose. He can't be that dangerous, and besides, he is hurt. We should help him. Zoro scoffed. They don't seem to understand how dangerous he really was. What are you scoffing at, human? Demanded Pearl. You should be glad we are showing any hospitality at all. I just don't know why you think I'm not dangerous, Zoro smirked. Because
Wait. So in this thesis, in this scientific research, Homeworld is just an island on the Grand Line?
What?
No, he picked up a rock and then fell through something maybe, or to another world, which is here.
Damn, that could have actually been an okay way to put it there. Beach City is just an island in the Grand Line.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That
But
would actually be clever.
maybe we'll loop back around to that. But
Maybe.
basically, Homeworld is just Earth, but they just call it Homeworld. Like it's
Yeah.
whatever.
It's our home.
It's Homeworld. Think of it as not Earth.
God.
Zoro smirked. Because you are housing Roanoa Zoro. Who? Pearl questioned. That's my name, Zoro said. Oh, realizing Pearl. What makes you so dangerous then? Pearl said with a conceding look. Zoro's face faltered. He quickly got back up and regained his composure. I'm a pirate, Zoro explained with a smirk, of the Straw Hat Pirates. Wait, where was he? He was supposed to be in a forest. Why was he even in here? He needed to get back with his crew. So, Pearl said, I dealt with pirates before, and you're just a human pirate after all. Pearl, I think we should treat Zoro with more respect, advised Rose. He is our guest after all. Oi, I just want my swords back, you damn witch. I need to find my captain.
Oh my
Snapped
god.
Zoro.
Oi.
Pearl, give him his swords, Rose ordered. Fine, but it's not like he knows how to use a sword anyways, Pearl snickered. I don't know why he even carries 3 swords. He's probably scared that one of them will break. Pearl, don't treat our... Rose began.
He's gonna cut her right in the forehead.
Grr, why you probably never even used a sword before, you witch, Zoro yelled. I trained for thousands of years to use a sword, Pearl shouted. You're just a small human. Pearl, he is our guest, Rose began. If you want to gain my respect of how strong you are, then we shall duel at the forest, Pearl yelled. Oi, I don't cut women, stated Zoro. Are you insecure about your skill with the blade? Because it seemed to me that you were scared, mocked Pearl. And unlike humans like yourself, we gems don't have genders. What are you, crazy? Zoro began. Even though you look weird, you're still human, so I won't fight you, hag. They butted heads with they butted heads as electricity seemed to spark between their foreheads.
Just no fucking chill.
They butted heads and broke Zoro's head on her Pearl.
Oh.
He broke Pearl's pearl with his forehead.
Shattered with one headbutt.
Pearl started to grit her teeth and her face started to flush with a blue hue. This boy's insufferable, she thought. I'm weird? He has green hair. Pearl, you cannot fight this human. He doesn't need to get hurt more than he already is, Rose explained. It's not like I would hurt this little human, said Pearl. She backed off. I just need to show him how superior I am. A loud crash struck out from outside the ship. A loud, inhumane hiss erupted from outside. Pearl, we have to go, said Rose as she ran out of the room. Coming, Rose. Pearl turned her head. Zoro, stay here. When she left, Zoro sighed. I gotta get out of here, Zoro thought. 10 minutes later. Why the hell was this ship so confusing? Every route he took led him back to the stupid room he was originally in. Stupid ship, stupid women. He just wanted to find his crew. Fuck it. I'm just gonna cut my way out, Zoro thought.
Hey, Zoro would never.
He drew Shuichi and cut wall after wall until he found a way outside.
True sushi?
He's just cutting walls
No,
apart.
his sword is named Suishi.
Oh,
He's just
okay.
cutting holes in the wall.
Thought for me just draws sushi.
I guess they're on a
fucking
ship going
wall.
somewhere now.
I guess.
When Zoro got out, he could see Rose and Pearl fighting against a 200-meter snake. Every time the snake attacked, Rose blocked, and with every opportunity, Pearl attacked. What are you doing here? Pearl shouted. I told you to stay in the ship. So, Zoro said. So, you should be sitting in the ship, Pearl
I'm not
yelled.
gonna listen to no woman.
There was a huge hole going through multiple rooms in the ship. Her eye twitched. What did you Pearl began before the snake took this opportunity and slammed its tail into her, sending her flying. Pearl, Rose said as she ran quickly as she could to her. The snake was swift and was soon above Pearl's body with its mouth bearing down on her. I'm going to die, she thought. Pearl, no, Rose said with tears in her eyes. Time seemed to slow down as its fangs were going to deliver the killing blow right to her gem. It's alright, lie, shonson. Zoro slowly sheathed his blade as the head of the snake slowly began to fall from its body. Stupid snake, Zoro muttered.
Oh, I don't cut women.
Oh, there's more chapters. She said at the end, please review. I love writing this and I would really appreciate it if you reviewed it. Also, would you want Zoro to teach Pearl how to fight? Do you want a time skip with Zoro being teleported back to Earth? But the future Pearl who is more caring and nice? Do you want Zoro to be a gem? I'd really like some cool ideas and stuff for future chapters. You could PM me.
The choice is yours.
Can you tell
Should
me
PM
a
her.
direction? Because I don't have one.
Well, she's got 2 more chapters, so something happens.
Yeah.
How long is this?
I mean, each chapter is pretty short.
I got you.
Actually, chapter 3 is really short. Chapter 4 is not super short. But it's had to be the end. Even though Pearl was on the verge of dying, she couldn't help but feel grateful. Grateful about the good time she shared with Rose. Goodbye. And then he says the thing. And then an enormous gust of wind overtook her, and the snake stopped. Pearl heard the faint clicking of metal and continued staring wide-eyed at the snake as its head fell from its body. She heard footsteps getting closer but couldn't move due to the sight she just witnessed. Oi, lady, are you okay? Zoro asked as he got closer. No way. Rose had to have done this, Pearl thought. She knew it couldn't have been Rose, seeing as she didn't have a weapon. No, he can't be human. Hey, are you alright? Zoro asked. Why wasn't she talking? Zoro put a hand on her shoulder. Zoro's hand is like so big compared to her shoulder, I'm sure.
Just crushes her.
Yeah, so frail.
I'm glad Zoro and Pearl aren't on even levels.
Yeah, I was really waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
But just as he made any physical contact with her, she flinched. It kind of reminded him of Usopp.
Again.
Oh no.
I'm not going to hurt you, you know, Zoro said. Did the snake bite you or something? How did you? Pearl gasped. That was... thanks. The amount of power needed to do that amount of destruction is near impossible. It was incredible. Pearl! Screamed Rose as she got to where she was. Rose quickly enveloped Pearl in a hug. I am fully in your debt, Zoro, whispered Rose as she broke apart from the hug. If you need anything at all, you can ask me or Pearl. I don't really need anything, but if you have a Den Den Mushi you can lend me, Zoro asked. I need to call my crew.
Mushi mushi.
A silence occurred. Den Den Mushi? Pearl repeated. Rose, do you know what that is? No, I'm afraid not, Rose answered. Is that an Earth thing? What's an Earth? Zoro wondered. What island are we anyways? Anyways. Rose glanced at Pearl, sharing a look of confusion. We aren't on an island, we're on a continent, Pearl explained. North America, one of the 7 They said homeworld, this is not homeworld.
Fuck.
So they're on past North America.
Knew it.
North America, one of many continents. Zoro's eye was twitching. Didn't she know that the world was obviously comprised of islands? Where was she even getting this information from? Look, even an idiot knows that there are only islands in this new world, Zoro mocked as Pearl was getting progressively angrier. Zoro, we are on the planet Earth, Rose said. Pearl, where did you find him? Oh, Rose, I forgot to inform you that I found him in a crater very close from here, Pearl answered. You two should go back there and find any clues on how to get him back, Rose advised. I need to go repair the ship. Let's go to the stupid crater, Zoro sighed. 5 minutes later. So this is where I was, huh? Zoro looked around. How the hell did this happen? I don't know, but I found you in the middle of that crater, Pearl replied. As Zoro got closer, he could see a strange glint in the light of the dirt. It looked glassy and seemed to lure him in. As they got closer, it started to look like some sort of strange rock. What is that? Zoro whispered to himself. Seems to be some sort of gem, Pearl answered. Zoro reached to pick it up, and as soon as he made physical contact, it started to shine. Zoro, put that down! But it was too late. As soon as the light died down, Pearl could only watch as the clear, glassy gem turned green. Zoro was not to be found. Hey guys, it took me forever to write this chapter, but it was worth it. What will happen to the Green Swordsman next? Actually, I think I might give up on this fanfiction. Sorry, guys.
Oh my god.
Chapter 4.
It was worth it.
You wish.
It was worth it.
A loud, thunderous crash reverberated across the snowy mountains. Inside the mountains were an icy room where the crystal gems along with Steven were fighting a corrupted ice gem. Alright everyone, Garnet shouted as she punched the corrupted gem into the wall. One more attack should do it.
Character voices.
One more... Okay. Alright everyone, Garnet shouted as she punched the corrupted gem into the wall. One more attack should do it, Pearl exclaimed as she readied her spear. The corrupted gem's arm fell due to Garnet's punch. Yikes, your arm! Steven sympathized as he started rubbing his own arm. I'm like, I'm not doing these voices as like they should be said, hold on. I'm like quietly whispering a yell. While the gem hasn't recovered yet, Garnet jumped to deliver the finishing blow. Hi-ya! Garnet grunted as she punched the gem. Again, that was not good. Pearl ran to where the monster was as soon as the monster's gem began falling to the floor. Is this like still relevant to anything? Hold on. It's just a fight scene with Steven and the gems.
It's a reboot.
Zoro's coming.
This is really strange. I guess I'll read it. I don't want to tell you what happened. So they fight. We got to get Steven out of here. We've got to get Steven out of here, Pearl shouted. Garnet took turn to Steven and held a hand out. I'm going to send you back to the temple, Garnet said. But Garnet, how are you gonna? Steven started. Garnet made a bubble around Steven. Wow, you can bubble me? Garnet, no! Pearl shouted as she ran towards her. Garnet already transported the bubble into the temple. Watch your head, Garnet said as the rocks began falling around them. Steven. Whoa, Steven said as he was being transported through some sort of rift. Before he knew it, he was already at the temple, floating around the other gems in the bubble. I'm back at the temple, Steven exclaimed as he looked around. Heh, look at you now, stuck in a bubble. Let me see if I can... Steven put his hands up to the bubble and slowly made a gap he could go through. The bubble popped and fell. He bounced on another bubble and that bubble popped too. As the gem fell down onto the floor, the gem started glowing green. Steven backed away from it to see what it was going to be. Oh man, what's happening? Steven gasped as the green gem started to take shape. It formed a ball and soon morphed into a humanoid figure. The light died down and revealed a tall, muscular young man with a green outfit, one eye, the other eye had a scar down it, and 3 swords. It also had a green gem on its chest. Why do I feel so much weaker than I was before, the man thought. Where am I?
No!
The man said as he scanned the room. His eyes
Steven
looked over the room.
Weaker than One Piece.
No.
His eyes looked over the room with bubbles and a small figure caught his attention. It was a little boy. Hey kid, he began. Yes, Steven said unsure as he backed away. The man looked really scary. The man sighed. Look, I'm not gonna hurt you, okay? I just need you to tell me where I am, he said. Pearl told me not to talk to strangers, Steven began. But you look lost, so I'm gonna tell you anyways. We're in the Crystal Gems Temple, Steven answered. Lost? I'm not lost, I just don't know where I am, the man shouted.
Yeah,
Steven laughed. That's what lost means, silly, Steven exclaimed. What's your name? My name is Roanoa Zoro, Zoro said. That's such a cool name. My name is Steven, Universe said. Why do you have 3 swords? Steven gasped. Are you some sort of samurai? Steven said with stars in his eyes. Zoro scoffed. I'm a swordsman, not a samurai, and I'm going to be the world's greatest swordsman, Zoro smirked. Whoa, can I have your sword? Steven said with stars in his eyes. Mr. Zoro, why do you have 3? Zoro drew out 2 of his swords and put the 3rd in his mouth. I use the 3 sword style, Zoro said with his mouth muffled by the hilt of his sword. I started to say that, thinking that was going to happen, and then it did. That was funny.
Right.
That's so cool, Steven began. Steven! Pearl shouted as she came in with other gems. Get away from that thing! That thing. I wonder what happened in the past.
This was like 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember him.
Garnet jumped to try to fight it and summoned her gauntlets. Zoro dodged just in time as the woman slammed their fists in where he was previously standing. Wait, he's not bad, Steven began. This is a terrible idea. And he even managed to pop a bubble and let out that awful man, Pearl shouted. Garnet powered up her gauntlet and charged at Zoro. He brought his blade up in time to block it with every strike she delivered. Zoro blocked. Oi, what the hell are you doing? Zoro shouted. It could talk, Amethyst said. If that thing hurt you, so help me, Pearl began as she knelt down next to Steven. No, he didn't do anything, Steven ran between them. Garnet, don't hurt him. I accidentally let him out of its bubble. He's not like the other monsters. He's just confused. Please don't hurt him. I'm begging you. Garnet stared at Steven for a couple of seconds, seeing if he was telling the truth. I can't say no to that face, Garnet gave in. Excuse me, Pearl shouted. You can't be serious. That was Steven again. I'm doing bad voices. Oh, I'm right here, you know, Zoro glared. I wasn't going to hurt him. You had 3 swords drawn, out in front of the Steven, Pearl shouted with her arms on her hips. Stupid, violent woman, Zoro muttered under his breath. What did you say? I think we should listen to Steven, Pearl. We did try to proof him, Garnet said. Pearl frowned. Aha! Shut down by the G Squad! Amethyst laughed in her first line of this fanfiction. I didn't know she was here.
The G Squad.
The G Squad?
Shut down by the G Squad.
Garnet.
Oh.
Well, let's at least take some precaution, Pearl said. At the beach. Alright, Steven, let's see if you can get it to calm down. As if they, walked him to the beach and then tried to get him to calm down. Zoro was chained to a rock with his swords next to him. You've got to be kidding me, he thought. He could break free, no problem, but he didn't want to aggravate the 3 mystery women and fight them 3-1. He just glared. It seems a little scary, Steven admitted. I'm not even moving, Zoro growled as he broke free. The crystal gems all summoned their weapons and took a stance. Zoro stretched his arm and drew a sword. Can't we just talk like normal? Can't we just talk like normal people? Steven shouted. We don't have to fight each other. They started it, Zoro mumbled under his breath. Stupid hags. He waited thousands of years to say that again. Steven, he's dangerous. I think we should just bubble it, Garnet. Pearl asked. Pearl, don't come with me, Garnet said. Amethyst, don't make any rash moves. Garnet, Amethyst whined. Fine. Garnet dragged Pearl out of ear range and looked at her gravely. It was either bad news or bad news. Pearl, my future vision, Garnet said as Pearl started to get a little nervous. It isn't working on him. Garnet, what do you mean? Pearl gasped. No, this can't happen. You can always see the future. What's happening? Pearl started pacing around. This is serious. It means he's not from our timeline, or possibly dimension, Garnet said. I can't see the future with him, in any way, involved, and since he has already been affected in our timeline, I can't use future vision. What are we going to do? Pearl screamed. She started to hyperventilate. Pearl, calm down, Garnet said. The only reasonable way to deal with this is to talk to him. He is probably peaceful, and we need to monitor him in case he causes trouble. This is dragging the hell on. Nothing is happening.
Pearl's about to collapse like Darby the Gambler.
Oh my god. Pearl's just slowly going to cardiac arrest.
With the lungs she doesn't have.
Precisely.
Just tell me, does Zoro kill any of them?
No, I'll tell you the ending. Zoro cuts Amethyst's sandwich for her, and then they said he's good after all. And that's the end.
Wow. I give that 2 out of 3 swords.
I give it 1 out of 3 swords. But I love stories where it segregates one character like Zoro, and he's just the main character of the story.
Right.
That one we did with Ben's uncle or grandpa.
Grandpa Max?
Yeah, the Grandpa Max.
Getting his toes wet.
The Grandpa Max Spyro story is so good.
Grandpa Max's big day. That was a good find.
Check out the Spyro crossover episode.
I'll rate that story a One Piece, the filler arc with the dragons.
Oh no.
Oh, is that the one?
Not the Rainbow
I
Mist one.
That's the one I didn't watch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one where Usopp shoots the windmill, right?
I don't think so. I don't think anything happens in that one.
Isn't that where Usopp shoots the windmill really far away and he's like, I really can be a sniper?
No, that's on Logtown.
Oh, never mind.
Or
Nothing happens.
Roguetown, whatever. No, the only thing that happens in the Dragon arc is that Zoro cuts steel, but then it's retracted because his whole fight with Mr. One is him learning how to cut steel.
Oh, really? Dang. You're right.
God.
I do remember him being on between the 2 ships and cutting the steel chains, and that was a thing, but yeah. Doesn't count.
Okay.
Alright.
I've already got mine on the ready, so we're just gonna jump right into it.
Right.
So we can call it a night. For once it's not crazy late, but I'm still exhausted anyway.
Same here.
Yep.
That food coma setting in.
Where are those other clods? Said a very annoyed Peridot as she continued to work on the gem drill.
was fucking Squidward! Where are those other clods? Squidward says, pissed off.
A very annoyed Squidward
Cosplaying as Peridot.
as she continued to work on the gem drill at the barn. It was a normal day for Beach City. No gem monsters, no gem missions, nothing. which made Peridot even more infuriated that no one was helping her. "Do they not care that the cluster is going to destroy this planet?" said Peridot to herself. However, things were about to take an unexpected turn. As Peridot continued to work and ramble onto herself about the clods, a red truck pulled up to the barn. The red truck was holding 6 propane cylinders in its truck, and all the cylinders read Strickland Propane.
Oh no!
Without fail, of course there would be one of these.
God, we gotta upload that bonus King of the Hill one. It's so funny.
Peridot decided to stop working and investigate what this truck was doing there. As she walked up to the truck, a human stepped out of the truck. Peridot was not very happy about this. She was already not happy as it was, but she really didn't want to see a random human. "Hank Hill, Strickland Propane," said the man happily. However, this just confused Peridot. "Why are you propane?" asked the confused Peridot. Hank just stared at her for a moment, not knowing what to say. Are your parents home?" "Parents? I'm no child!" screamed Peridot. Hank looked a little scared. "However, I would like for one of the other gems to explain why you are here. If only I knew where they were." Meanwhile, Stephen and Amethyst were hanging out in Beach City with Connie. Pearl was nowhere to be found, and Garnet was watching rock porn, which consists of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wearing no shirt, staring at the camera seductively while holding 2 rocks and repeatedly hitting them together. "This is hot," said Garnet to herself, or they, however the like to refer to her as.
Oh my god!
That's horrible.
Well, we know what this one's gonna be like already.
Oh boy.
Back at the barn. After Hank got the propane tanks off the truck, I guess he's just doing it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Peridot began inspecting them, while Hank was just staring at her in confusion. "Are these weapons?" asked Peridot. "I can assure you that these great blessings of God are not weapons," said a very proud Hank Hill. "Are you sure? Because they smell like weapons," said Peridot. "If you wanted a toxic gas, then you should have gotten that bastard gas," Hank said sternly.
Bastard's gas. Who's the bastard? It's Ronaldo?
Sure, Ronaldo's propane.
It's my gas!
Peridot then pulled out her voice recorder. "Some human has come to the barn, bringing with him some kind of gas called propane. The human named Hank Hill claims that it's not a weapon, but how could something that smells so terribly not be a weapon?" Ow! Peridot was interrupted by Hank Hill punching her in the face, which knocked her on the ground. "Shut up, you little bitch!" screamed Hank Hill.
Oh my god!
"I'm sick of you illegal aliens coming to our planet.
Oh my god!
Talking shit about propane. Trump is right. We need to build a wall around Earth."
Oh my god!
She just triggered him out of fucking nowhere!
Hashtag make Earth great again.
Oh my god!
He just decked her right in the gym.
I'm so sick of this.
What now?
Hank was about to leave, but something was happening to him. He could feel it inside of him. It was his narrow urethra. He could feel it expanding. At that moment, he knew he was cured.
Whoa.
Peridot was still on the ground, dazed from the punch. "Where are you, crystal clods?" Peridot screamed in the air. Meanwhile, Stephen and Amethyst were freaking out over the fact that Connie had just told Stephen that he got both her and her mom, Dr. Priyanka Maheswaran, pregnant. Stephen was scared because he was not ready to be a dad, and Amethyst was scared because they were now going to have mixed race babies. Pearl was still nowhere to be found. However, some people theorized that she went off to have sex with Uncle Grandpa. And Garnet was now fused into Ruby and Sapphire. Was now fused into Ruby and Sapphire. That's what she is.
Yeah.
They were having awesome lesbian midget sex while thinking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Then Greg walked in and saw the two in the act. Ruby and Sapphire looked at Greg, but their lust causes them to see him not as Greg, but as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh no.
Back at the barn, Hank Hill was staring at Peridot with lust in his eyes. His
No!
urethra was no longer narrow.
No.
His wife was all the way back in Texas.
No!
He needed to test out of his newfound penis freedom. And he had the perfect test subject.
He did not.
I don't know if I should keep going.
Did you turn on the rated M tab?
George, keep going. I need to know.
You stupid clod. You think you can just get away with hitting me? Peridot said as she stood back up.
And their bent fucking nose after getting punched.
Well, if you don't want me to hit you, then how about a dick in your mouth? Hank said as he unzipped his pants, revealing his fully erect 9-inch cock while shoving it into Peridot's mouth. Since gems don't have to breathe, this made it easy for Hank to shove his cock down her throat.
He wouldn't know that.
God.
This just kind of devolves into porn.
It's time. Go.
Find a better point.
Steven, you want to take over?
Hey, sure, why not?
This is your area of expertise. There you go, from the top.
Oh, hell yeah. After about 3 minutes, Hank's
You
Closer to
can't
the
hear
mic.
you.
Oh. After about 3 minutes, Hank screamed, "Oh, God!" and climaxed into her mouth, with Hank suffering from blue balls for so many years. There was so much sperm that it started to leak out of Peridot's nose. As Hank pulled his cock out, Peridot fell to her knees. However, Hank was not done yet. "That's it! I'm fucking your ass!" screamed Hank Hill.
Jesus
Hank
Christ.
then tore off all of Peridot's clothing and pushed her to the ground. Hank proceeded to ram his cock into Peridot's ass. Peridot then pulled out her voice recorder. Up it, ow! This propane human, ow, appears to be attempting to ow as he puts it, ow, fuck my ass. I must, ow, let him conduct these, ow, tests on me so I may, ow, learn more about, ow, human culture.
I'm just gonna censor most of this.
Yeah, as the ass fucking was going on, Peridot still wondered where the fuck the crystal gems were. Meanwhile, Stu and Connie were discussing what they were going to do about the fact that not only did Steven knock her up, but also knocked her mom up. Amethyst was off to give Connie's mom an abortion. Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
This is dark!
How did Amethyst get involved?
She can say here.
Because one mixed race baby was bad enough, but 2 is where she crosses the line.
No, that makes sense.
Pearl was dancing at the strip club. Just kidding,
There she is.
Just kidding, I don't actually know where the fuck she is.
Even the omnipotent author has no clue.
Greg was having 3-way sex with Ruby and Sapphire. However, Ruby and Sapphire were pretending he was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Back at the barn. "Oh!" said Hank as he came in Peridot's ass. As sperm started to leak out of her ass, Hank turned around. "It's time for one last test," said Hank to Peridot. Peridot was happy. She loved conducting tests, and this was shaping out to be her favorite one yet. Peridot smiled and blushed as he knew what final test Hank Hill was talking about. There was only one hole left for Hank to spread his propane love into. It was what humans called a pussy.
Oh.
What did you think it was?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll admit I was holding out for something more creative too.
Yeah.
No, this is what it is.
It sure is. Peridot did not want to wait any longer, so she spread her legs and prepared for Hank. However, Hank needed some backup, so he took some of the propane and began to huff it. This gave him the power he needed. He became so powerful that not even that faggot Garfield could match him.
Whoa.
It was now time.
What is
Check out
with-
last episode.
Yeah, why do people think Garfield is so strong? They always talk about how strong Garfield is in fanfiction. Like, where does this come from?
His lasagna eating.
God.
Strong man.
Is it based off that one strip where it like molds his fat into muscles or something? I don't know.
Like that.
Based off of the live action movie.
Yeah.
I thought, what about the Garfield Super Friends where he is actually jacked?
Oh, true.
Let's see here. Anyhow, it was now time. Penis to vagina. There's no Yes, penis to vagina, cock to pussy. Hank wasted no time and instantly stuck his cock into Peridot. They both screamed in absolute pleasure. Peridot then pulled out her voice recorder. This test is absolutely wonderful. Why has no one told me of this before? It's... Oh! Peridot had what humans call an orgasm.
That was fast.
Yeah. A few seconds later, Hank also had an orgasm. However, Hank's sperm was so powerful that it caused Peridot to rocket off his penis and land next to his truck. However, before Hank stood up, he noticed something. Someone was watching them. He looked at his truck and noticed someone in the trunk. Who's there? Asked Hank.
It could literally be
Dick
anyone.
out.
The figure stood. The figure stood up, and to Hank and Peridot's shock, it was Pearl.
Oh no! That's where she was.
In his trunk?
Wait, how long have you been there? Where are the other gems? Asked Peridot. Meanwhile, Steven was ready to accept the honor of becoming a father. Steven then decided that he and Connie should go tell Greg.
What a good B plot.
However,
All good shows have them.
yep. However, when they got to the temple, they saw Greg wearing a Dwayne The Rock Johnson mask while fucking Sapphire and Ruby.
How strange. C plot C.
Oh my god. I can just see it now, this fucking one eyebrow arched in plastic.
Hey, Stewball!
Stewball, I mean, can you smell
Gross.
what the Greg is cooking?
You'll have to draw a bad plastic rock mask over Greg.
Okay. However, Greg wearing a Dwayne The Rock Johnson mask while fucking Sapphire and Ruby. However, Sapphire knew this would happen and desperately wanted to have sex with Connie, so she asked them to join. Steven and Connie slowly left the house and, I'm just joking, they all had a massive orgy. And Greg the Rock Johnson showed Steven how to have sex with a gem. Also, Amethyst was thrown in prison for attempting an abortion on Connie's mom, who turned out to not be pregnant. She just put on some weight. That's pretty good.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Back at the barn.
How did they catch Amethyst? She's like a super soldier.
Right, she's the purple puma. Just what the fuck? How did you get in there? Asked Hank. I snuck in after you punched Peridot. I was going to see if my plan worked, Pearl said to Hank.
She called for propane.
Whoa. Plane?
She doesn't know how to use a phone.
They just made the worst fucking joke. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this. I snuck in after you punched Peridot. I was going to see if my plan worked, Pearl said to Hank. Plane? What plane? Asked Hank Hill. My plane for you to kill that bitch Peridot. I knew that she would talk shit about your propane. Hank gasped. So you were the one who put in that call? Yes, Hank, but you fucked everything up. You're supposed to kill her,
Literally.
not fuck her. Pearl then looks at Peridot. And you have no idea what true sex is. You have no idea how much sex I have had. It's true, she has had tons of sex throughout human history, but her level of salt makes... They spelled salt with a fucking S-A-U-L-T like assault.
So,
Her level of salt makes it so that she can only have sex with the most evil people to ever live. And she will use all the sex power to take over the world, said a random voice. Who said that? Asked Peridot. Me, I am Carl Sagan, defender of the cosmos.
Carl
Whoa.
Sagan.
They all looked up to see Carl Sagan in the spaceship. They all looked up to see Carl Sagan in the spaceship of imagination.
Looked up into space.
Admit it, Pearl. Hank and Peridot looked at Pearl. Yes, it is
What?
true. I have had sex with some of the most evil people to ever live. Hank and Peridot were stunned. In fact, I've had so much sex that turned my pink skin to pale white. Peridot looked confused. Who could you have possibly had sex with? Asked Peridot. Pearl smiled. Have had sex with Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, Kim Jong-un II, Kim Jong-un, Sauron, Hillary Clinton, Eliza Bathory, Jesus, every ISIS member, Obama bin Laden.
Obama bin Laden.
Obama bin Laden.
Oh no, the
No
story
way.
continues.
I hope like fuck this isn't the same author.
I hope that's not a typo.
Yeah, it's not. Obama bin Laden, George W. Bush Jr. Pan Pizza.
A villain.
From friggin' Rebel
Slipped
Taxi.
in Rebel Taxi.
Fucking Rebel Taxi.
Oh, I was thinking of an actual pizza.
That's funny too, I agree.
Just like the concept of pan pizza
Yeah.
compared to like hand tossed. Pan pizza's evil.
I'm glad Pan Pizza's on the list of most evil in history.
Where's the nostalgia critic?
The list is going on. Let's see. Ted Bundy, Charles Manson, Anita Sarkeesian, Jonathan McIntosh, Lee Harvey Oswald, James Earl Ray, Sonic, Vince McMahon.
The
Poor
evil
guy.
chairman of the WWE.
No chance in hell. Big Dick Dan, Black Bigger Dick Dan, The Postal Dude, and so many more, Pearl said with pride. Enough talk. Have at you, screamed Carl Sagan as he jumped out of his spaceship of imagination and charged at Pearl.
Jumped out from space to Earth.
Oh yeah, he was up there, wasn't he?
Yep. Pearl summoned her spear, but Carl Sagan already got punched in before she could even set up a defense.
Yeah, I mean, he flew down to Earth pretty quick. He's
He
fast.
did.
Billions and billions of punches.
His punch dazed her, and he used this opportunity to charge up his Kamehameha.
Is that a Christian reference?
No, it's the Carl Sagan reference.
Alright.
You remember when he did it?
When Pearl regained focus, she was met with a Kamehameha right to her face, and she was instantly poofed. Hank and Peridot cheered Carl Sagan, but Carl did not look happy. Hank, you must leave now, Carl sternly said to Hank. Your presence here is disturbing the cosmos, and the sex didn't help either. Hank looked sad, but he understood. Okay, Carl Sagan,
He
I
looked
understand.
sad, but he understood.
Okay, Carl Sagan, I understand. But before he could start walking back to his truck, Peridot stopped him. Wait, said Peridot, before we go, I just want you to know that even though you punched and raped me, this was one of the happiest moments of my life, said Peridot.
Well, that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Hank smiled and said, this was one of the happiest days of my life, too.
This is sad.
They both
She insulted propane and he dicked her and got his urethra fixed through sheer masculinity.
He decked and dicked her, you're right. They both smiled and hugged.
Call that the sequel to Stone Cold.
Perfect, finally. Hank walked back
Illustrate
to
the
his
whole thing.
truck. Ah! That would probably get massive.
Illustrate his urethra being unnarrowed.
That would be like a cult classic fanfiction for all time.
It probably
if you like
would.
actually illustrated it.
I don't doubt it, man. Hank walked back to his truck and waved goodbye. As he drove away, a tear formed in his eye. After Hank was gone, Peridot wondered what would happen next. Hey Carl, what should we do with Pearl's gem? Peridot asked. Take it back to the temple. My Kamehameha removed all the evil sperm from her. She is now good, said Carl Sagan.
She is now good.
All of it.
Oh, and Peridot, there is an orgy going on in the temple, said Carl. Thank you, Carl Sagan, but what will you do now? Asked Peridot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm going to go smoke weed with Snoop Dogg, said Carl Sagan happily. Peridot smiled and waved goodbye as she ran to the temple. Carl Sagan went back into his spaceship of imagination and left. The end.
What a story. What a story, Mark.
Wait. There's an epilogue.
Oh, fuck yeah. Give me. Let's see. Epilogue.
It's not over yet.
Peridot is now pregnant with Hank's child, and thanks to Carl Sagan, Peridot will not have to give up her physical form. Hank calls Peridot every day so they may know how they are doing. They are still thinking of a name for their child. Comment down below what you think the child's name would be.
What do the comments say?
Oh, I'll
Hold
check
on.
here in a sec. Ugh. Things were looking well for Steven. It turns out Connie was not pregnant, just like her mother. She also just put on some weight.
Again?
Damn. Ruby and Sapphire write creepy fan letters to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and he never responds to them. Pearl decided to give up her evil pursuits and instead became a stripper at the strip club.
Again.
Greg
Where
watches.
else would she become a stripper?
In Greg's van.
Just out the back.
It's funny you say that. Greg watches Pearl at the strip club whenever he gets the chance.
Yeah, work for that green.
Whenever he gets the chance.
Pearl, watch this. Thanks for fixing my van.
He throws ones at her.
It's some deep web Steven Universe lore.
One day he might take Steven to go watch her.
When he's older.
Amethyst has lots of lesbian sex in prison. Carl Sagan and Snoop Dogg get high as fuck. The end.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now read the comments.
How do I do it?
The bottom left button.
Where are the comments on here?
The
It's
like
loading.
box. Oh yeah.
The pages is turning.
Oh, I see.
While the page is turning, how about we rate that story?
Okay. I give it a propane tank filled with air freshener.
I give it a urethra growing 3 sizes that day.
I give it one big huff of propane because it was quite the high.
Alright. Says,
You can't read names.
you can bleep it up. As your black clone, I have to say that the stories still hold up. Guest, Snoop Dogg. This shit is whacked as fuck, yo. Use my name again and I will sue yo ass. Word. Shrek, fake and gay. How about naming Paradon Hank's child Mr. Trump? God.
God, what a cringy community.
The Big should be named Rufus. Test S/118588201/1/Hankadot. It's times I question, what did I just read? That I realize this is dark adult parody. Good on you.
I don't mean cringy, I mean edgy, which is fine.
Right. What the fuck? That was so good, and then it just goes lol for like 50 times. The baby.
After I say cringy, replay the entire intro morning thing.
The baby's name should prolapse.
Disclaimer.
Lol, I read this out loud to my friends, XD.
The
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing. Well,
We
I guess we did that too, so I can't
Yeah.
shit on him.
We have a future guest.
Ooh.
Disclaimer. Crossing the line is for the lulz. Epic XD. Enjoy.
Final fix this chapter. I have no idea what was going on with it, and that's by the author, by the way. Funny, a few spelling errors, and the transitions between scenes could be less stark, but well written nonetheless.
Okay, read the funny comment.
That was the second to last one. It was the funniest thing I've read in a long time. The end. That's it.
Can I read a little bit of the one that I didn't get to read?
Go ahead.
Just like the first couple paragraphs, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll do it justice and be over.
I hope.
Okay. One day, Steven Universe wanted to take a trip to visit his family, Small Dorito Mom Peridot. His favorite Small Dorito Mom Peridot, so he did. Hi, Steven, said Peridot when she saw him. Thanks for coming to visit. No problem, said Steven, who, as we know, is a pretty nice guy. Hi, Lapis, he said, but she'd ignored him. So what do you want to do today? Asked Peridot. I brought a new show for you to try, said Steven, and he produced full DVD sets for all 14 seasons of a very special show.
Oh no.
What is it? Asked Peridot, who was very skeptical because she only liked one TV show. It's Family Guy, said Steven. It's the best show ever. Peridot didn't look convinced, so Steven decided to sweeten the deal. See this guy? He said, pointing at one of the boxes. That's Peter. Okay, let's try it, said Peridot. So they watched all 14 seasons.
God. That's like days of video.
Wow, said Peridot. I'm glad you showed me that. I like the parts where they cut away to an unrelated gag. Those are called cutaway gags, said Steven. They're my favorite parts too. Suddenly, the other crystal gems, Pearl and Amethyst and Sapphire, and Jasper ran into the barn. Ruby died, in quotes. Hey guys, said Steven.
Off screen.
Hey guys, said Steven. Bad timing. We just finished watching all of Family Guy. If you'd been a little earlier, we could have watched it together. There's no time for TV, said Jasper. It's an homeworld ship. What? Said Steven. You sure about that, dog? Yeah, said Sapphire sadly. She was still sad about Ruby. I'm sorry about Ruby, said Steven. Also, that sounds bad. We should probably go check it out.
Jesus Christ.
So they all went to go check it out, except for Lapis, who just ignored them the whole time. Someone probably should check on her. That doesn't seem normal. It was a ship, all right, but it didn't look like any ship from Homeworld. In fact, Steven and Peridot, it looked very familiar. Where was I? It's like skip. No way, said Steven, but his instincts were proven right when the Peter Griffin climbed out of the ship that looked at him.
No way! He's real.
He's real.
Whoa. Whoa, said Pete. I don't know how to do a Peter voice. Whoa, said Peter. It's the crystal gems. He pulled out his cell phone. Hey, Lois, you'll never guess where I am. Yeah, I can't come home. The Peter rocket's broken.
That's pretty good.
We'll take you home now, offered Pearl, forgetting their spaceship had been ruined in the fatal crash that had claimed Ruby's life and rendered Amethyst mute from trauma. Gee, thanks. That'd be great, said Peter. I like you guys on Steven Universe, by the way. Thanks, said Peridot. I love you on Family Guy. But Peter wouldn't
just watched it.
But Peter wouldn't get to go home just yet because another ship landed and it was Yellow Diamond. Oh no, said everyone, including Lapis, who had finally noticed something and emerged from her decades-long funk to help out, but excluding Amethyst, who was still mute. I heard that your Ruby died, so I'm here to finish the job, said Yellow Diamond. You got a Peter sight. Peter sights were gems that look like Peter Griffin. Those are dangerous, so I'm gonna get her first. Yellow Diamond pulled out her other weapon, a spanking paddle, and moved towards Peter. Heh, this is just like that time me and Cleveland got naughty at the gym, said Peter. And suddenly we were there. Peter and Cleveland were Peter and Cleveland were showering at the gym when suddenly Peter grabbed a towel and whipped Cleveland's ass. Cleveland retaliated, and soon they were whipping each other so much. Heh, laughed Peter. Ha ha, laughed Cleveland. And then back to the main plot. This is 7,000 words long, so I'm not going to read this, but I just wanted to end it there.
That is beautiful.
What the heck?
That's gorgeous.
I probably should have read that one instead.
That's
fine.
Next
Well, your
time.
Zoro one had something going for it.
We'll read that another time.
Next
On the
time.
Family Guy episode. I guess.
Yes, please.
On the Family Guy episode. If I remember I said that.
I'm glad I got through that one fucking Naruto one with Family Guy. That one was just a bunch of bad plots.
Like actual Naruto.
Yeah, like it was like Naruto, but he's still.
But I love Naruto, so I'm shitting on like my favorite show.
I feel you.
Well, that about does it. I'm glad we could all listen in to some amazing fan fiction on this episode. Steven Universe. Thanks for tuning in, and if you like Steven Universe, share the podcast. It's a very appropriate representation of the fan base. And with that said, good night, America!
You know, this reminds me of one time where we did the podcast.
I remember that.
And then it ended.
Ooh. Cut away. To the podcast ending. George, end the podcast.
There's a lot of sexual tension in this room right now.
Yeah, that was a pretty good time. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Woo. George, end the podcast.
Okay.